I was thinking Floyd Mayweather's next opponent.
Oh, good place to start. It's a hot topic right now. It's probably trending on Twitter, I would imagine. For those people that don't know, that don't follow it, but I'm sure they all do. Looks like we could be looking at Floyd Mayweather versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, of course, you scoff, you laugh, you say, no chance, it's never going to happen. And that's what everyone said about Conor versus Khabib. And then Conor versus Floyd. And then what happened.
Not what everybody said.
No, it is. They said it was bullshit. It wasn't going to happen. Everyone kind of scoffed. Everyone kind of chuckled. Everybody said, no, there's no chance. He's under contract with the UFC and this and that and all the rest of it. They said the commission won't allow it. They went on and on and on. We all know eventually it happened. They both made a ton of money. Here we've got Khabib calling out Mayweather, mixing them up. Khabib calling out Mayweather, saying there's only one king of the jungle, 27-0 versus 50-0. Let's do it. Let's find out who the real king of the jungle is. Something like that, or equally cliched, but I like it. Mayweather did a video. He responded to CBS Showtime and someone else. CBS Showtime, Harrington? Whatever. CBS Showtime and someone else said, get the checkbook out. Let's go. And MGM Grand. Get the checkbook out. Let's go. So, that seems like an acceptance from both parties. Go on.
It's garbage.
Why is it garbage?
It's not going to happen.
Why?
Because when I first heard it, I was like, okay, cool. Khabib's challenging Mayweather to MMA, and it's just sort of a thing to do now because why not? Why not challenge Mayweather in MMA? Then you guys told me that this is for boxing. And then I was like, oh, cool. Khabib doesn't know how to fucking box, and he's got short midget arms. So what are we doing here?
Listen,
are we pretending that this is ever going to come to fruition?
I swear to God, Khabib would go the distance with Mayweather.
Oh, my God.
He'd go the distance with Mayweather.
I hate disagreeing with you on fight things. Usually I just go, yes.
No.
You're right.
I'm not saying that Khabib is a better boxer than McGregor. He's not a better striker. He's not as elusive. He's not as slick.
Got a better chin, better cardio.
But he's got a fucking chin and he's got cardio for days. And Mayweather, at his age, was never a knockout guy, even though he did have some knockouts. He knocked out, England's very own Ricky Hatton in devastating fashion. But I don't see it. He couldn't put McGregor down. That's what Khabib's saying. Hey, you couldn't put McGregor down. I put McGregor down. But he put McGregor down through fatigue. And that was his game plan, kind of. McGregor was very, very tired and just started eating shots, and in the end he couldn't even fight back because he was so exhausted and kind of beat up. So the referee stepped in. That wouldn't happen against Khabib. It wouldn't. Yeah. And Mayweather would probably embarrass him and light him up and pick him apart all night long.
Well, I think that's
but Khabib would probably go 12 rounds. Well, Conor wasn't far away from going 12 rounds.
Think about this, though. Like, Khabib would get lit up so much more than Conor because Conor's so much more skilled with footwork, head movement, on the feet. Just, Conor's substantially better striker than Khabib. And I know kickboxing is different than boxing.
All right.
But think about how much more Khabib's going to get hit in those earlier rounds.
Stop. What point? All right, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Wait a minute.
What does that have anything to do with the fact of the fight happening or not? Because they don't give a fuck.
I think they do.
Mayweather isn't bothered. Mayweather can say to everybody, look, I'm going to now beat the guy that beat Conor in MMA, okay? Even though other people have beaten him in MMA. In the boxing world, everyone thinks Conor's the champion, blah, 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 blah. Khabib just beat him, tapped him out. So it's good for Mayweather. He obviously sees a big payday again, sees a lot of people tuning in and watching it, which of course they would because Khabib is now massive and he has crazy fans. So he earns a lot of money. Khabib on the flip side, he's like, you know what, I kind of fancy that. I reckon I could because he's a fighter, he's a tough motherfucker. And he's not particularly motivated by the money. But everybody's motivated a little bit by potentially $40-50 million. It wouldn't be a McGregor type payday. It wouldn't do that type of numbers. But it's still going to be a big payday.
I just feel like the reason it's not going to happen is because there's no story there. Nobody in the world would ever think that in a boxing match that Khabib would ever have any chance. There's just not. I don't know who's buying that fight. It would just like. The story of maybe could Conor do it? Could he cross over? Does he have that punching power? He's got that crazy knockout power. There was a big kind of question of like a puncher's chance. I would love to watch Mayweather versus Khabib in MMA. That would be something that I would fucking,
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind because everything you just said
also applies to
about
MMA.
that also applies to it in reverse for an MMA fight.
But I'm an MMA fan. I want to see McGregor on his ass. How great would that be?
Say whatever you want about McGregor. His takedown defense was good. You know, it wasn't easy for Khabib to take him down. I think McGregor's got pretty good takedown defense. And my point is that Khabib still took him down, controlled him, all the rest of it. What do you think he's going to do against someone like Mayweather? You know, so everything what you just said applies. You listen, you know, it's going to be it's fun to speculate for a little bit, but fact of the matter is that as of right now, both guys have said they want to do it. That's... You know, that's the biggest thing, Lewis. That's the biggest thing.
Harrington's been trying to chime in for fucking 8 minutes. Since 1 minute into the podcast, he keeps going,
Chime in, Harrington.
What is it, Harrington?
I'm just so interested. The last part, the hashtag MGM Grand. Is that Floyd saying he's not fighting outside of Vegas no matter who it is? Because, I mean, I don't see how Vegas is going to, like, give him a boxing license after the riot in the crowd. I feel like that's a big holdup.
He got suspended for 10 days. He got suspended for 10 days. That won't be the issue. Big fucking money. Boxing license, I don't even think would be anywhere near the issue. I'm saying the fucking interest in it is not there. Would you want to watch that fight? Would that be a boxing match between Khabib and Floyd? Is there any? It's a fucking nightmare.
No.
I think my son has a better chance of beating Mayweather in a boxing match.
At what point did I say, ooh, that'll be a good fight. That'll be competitive. I never said that, okay? Do not put words in my mouth. Luis Gomez, okay? Gomez. I know, but I won't pronounce a J if you put words in my mouth. I never said that, and you're right. I'd probably watch it. I'd have a real problem paying for the pay-per-view. I'd get Callum to, like, not that he's ever done this before, but look for an illegal stream somewhere. I'm like, Callum, you know about these things. And I'd probably do that, but I'd want to see it. And you're probably right. It's probably not going to happen. You've convinced me.
Yeah, there's no way. There's just no fucking way. It's just, I think it's sort of the thing to do now is you call out Mayweather, and then Mayweather, he's keeping himself relevant. It's just, I don't know. There's just not
Last I heard, he was fighting Pacquiao anyway.
Yeah, right? It wasn't
Pacquiao's coming out of retirement. He's going to be fighting on the new... obviously, Fox Sports have lost the UFC rights, and they're switching to WWE, but that's not going to be towards the end of next year. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that... I forget the name of it, Pacific Coast Wrestling or Pacific something wrestling, my apologies. But yeah, they're starting on board. They're going to do pre-fight shows, post-fight shows, the whole thing. And they've got a big budget, so they're going to be looking at making boxing great again, you know, in the US, and doing some big fights and signing some big deals. I think they're looking at having Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder on there at some point. They're definitely talking about having Pacquiao. I think he may be signing a deal with them. So they're trying to do like a real legit boxing league with big hitters, lots of money going around. So that'll be interesting to see if that takes off. And anyway, as I say, I heard that Pacquiao is going to be on there and potentially Mayweather at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to see. I really feel like there's an opportunity now. It feels like, in a weird way, for me anyway, I feel like it does feel like we are reaching a post-McGregor time in MMA. I think this loss to Khabib, we're going to probably get another couple big fights out of McGregor.
Well, it's as I said to you before on the other podcast, you know, it's great because, you know, we were talking about McGregor and we're talking about life and attitudes to life. And in fact, Ray, because I mentioned it, I said, somebody said to me, they said, you know, just you got to believe, you know, what you want to achieve, carry yourself like that, believe it, live
this
that life.
Rockhold, actually.
And no, well, conceive, believe, achieve. No, but Ray that owns the studio, we were talking about something, I had a ton of auditions. He said, yeah, but you just got to believe it. If you believe you've already made it in anything and carry yourself like that, you'll be drawn towards it and it will kind of happen. And he was right. And we were talking about it. And we were saying that McGregor, he's still parading around like he was the winner. He's still acting like he won that fight. He's at football stadiums throwing the ball out. The crowds are going crazy. He's throwing his whiskey around. He's all smiles. He's happy. Keep carrying yourself like that. And in a few weeks, everyone's forgotten about the fight. They forgot about the tap out. They just see McGregor still bouncing around like life's winner and this and that.
But that'll only last so long. I mean, how many times can you lose before that starts to be, you know, you're no longer the baddest man on the planet? You know, that's a big part of the appeal in MMA. When you're no longer the baddest dude on the planet, when you're no longer, like, you know, in contention for the title, it sort of becomes a thing where I think you start to deteriorate in value in terms of your value as a fighter, or that being your thing. that starts to deteriorate once you're no longer in contention. Every time you fight, whether you win or lose, you're either like fodder for a dude who's on his way up, or you lose a fight and you legitimately like lose sort of
well, maybe from your mind or possibly some fans' minds, but not from a fighter's perspective. Yeah. Not from a fight. I mean, I remember when I fought Rockhold the first time in Australia, in Sydney, and we did a press conference, and then afterwards they had some interviews for me to do, and I spoke to this journalist, and he said, "So this is it, right, Mike? This is it, eh?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well," he said, "if you lose this fight," he said, "you're never going to be the champion, are you? Let's be honest. You lose this one." He said, "This is your last chance at a big matchup, a high-profile fight. If you win this, you could be fighting for a title soon." But he said, "But, you know, you've had a few of these, and if you lose it," he said, "that's about it." And I said,